Hey guys, this is James.
And this is Denny from TeaDB, episode
47.
47.
Yep.
Oh,
And so what do we got today?
some sort of Wuyi. I don't even know. You tell me.
Yeah, so this is a Shui Jin Gui,
Okay.
which is one of the 4 famous bushes from Jing Tea Shop. And so if you're looking to get into Yancha, which is Wuyi Oolongs, Jing is one of the first names you're going to run into. They're not super expensive, but they're not super cheap either. So they're kind of middle of the range, Wuyi Oolongs. And I made a large order a bit ago, and this is probably what I thought was their best quality of their kind of like normal, non-aged Wuyi Oolongs.
Cool. And I can see that we're using a tiny Yixing clay teapot here.
Yeah, this is actually not Yixing, actually.
Okay.
But it is a Chaozhou clay. And it was made to imitate Yixing.
Okay.
So, easy to get them confused, of course.
Right.
Yep.
So the difference in between these two, from a clay perspective, then will be the location of the clay that was used.
I think so, yeah. I mean, I am far from a potter,
Right.
and I'm by no means an expert on this stuff, but it's a different type of clay from a different region in
Cool.
China.
Cool.
One that does not demand the ridiculous price that Yixing often does.
That's right. And one of the reasons that you're going to use this is a heat retention reason, or...
Yep. Heat retention. It's also got a real nice fast pour, too. So the size as well is nice for Wuyis. Just because you kind of get like that enlarged base. If you're like smaller on the bottom, that would be poor for Wuyis. Just because the leaves themselves are like very thin and long, so you want them to be able to expand. So we are somehow going to get 7 grams of leaf into
goodness.
this
I don't know.
tiny little guy.
Yeah, this is going to take a second here.
Yep.
Very cool.
Yep. So I would recommend for most people that are using Kung Fu style for Wuyis to err towards the side of using a lot more leaf than Taiwanese oolongs, for instance, just because that really does bring out the characteristics of the tea a bit more. One other nice thing that you can look for in pots that I'm wishing for right now is like a larger opening for Wuyis particularly, just so you can get all the leaves in there in a relatively easier fashion.
Yeah, so something with a wide top, basically.
Yep.
And I believe, if you recall correctly, the Crimson Lotus Yixing that they brought on had a very wide top.
Yes, that one was also a bit larger. So yeah, that one was.
Yeah.
So yes, this one is smaller, and I am making a bit of a mess, but it's fine.
So, you're basically going to pour. You're putting in 7 grams of leaf in here, right? Roughly.
Yeah, except I'm losing a little bit of it, but yes.
And and it's a 60 milliliter guy one.
60 milliliter Chaozhou.
Sorry,
yeah.
Yixing or Chaozhou.
Yeah, pot, whatever.
Excuse me. So yeah, stuffed in there. Holy smokes!
So if I were to redo this again, I would probably use maybe a gram or half a gram less of leaf.
Okay.
Or maybe mash up the bottom parts of the leaf. Just because it's clearly a bit of a tight fit, but it's going to be fine.
Cool. And with all twisted oolongs like this, the leaves themselves will not expand that much. They'll absorb plenty of water, but yeah, I like the pour on that. It's very quick. But they won't expand that much, so you really can err on the side of filling your brewing vessel up pretty full. And I'm assuming that we're going to do a rinse here.
Yep.
Okay.
And I'm actually going to heat this up because it's been a hot second.
Cool.
Yep.
So, and this is one of 4 types of Wuyi from China.
Yeah, one of the 4 famous types. The
Right.
others being Big Red Robe, Tianluohan, and Baijiguan.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this was your favorite of the Jing?
From Jing, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I thought this was the most. It was also the most expensive, so perhaps it's unsurprising that it's the better one. But the leaf quality was quite good, as you saw. Hardly any sediment,
Yeah, I
even
was
though
gonna say.
this is actually the very last bit of Shui Jin Gui I have. We just brewed the wonderful Lipton tea before this, so this is hopefully going to be a wonderful change.
Oh my goodness. Looking forward to this. in a more serious note. And the aroma on this is incredible. The liqueur looks beautiful.
Yep. Cheers.
Thank you, sir. Cheers. So just, yeah, very Wuyi smells and stuff. Nice, light, hinting at a little bit of sweet bitterness.
Yeah, some fruitiness.
Definitely.
Yeah, some like peachy apricot.
And I was actually making some Wuyi the other night, and really noticed how peachy Wuyi tends to be for me. Peachy with sort of like the bitterness that comes from dark chocolate, like that cacao bitterness taste.
Yep.
And
you get a little bit of that in here too.
Yeah, definitely. Really nice and very warming. The viscosity of it is light, largely due to the quick pour that James is using, but it's refreshing. So it's a very bold flavor for me, but also getting kind of a light experience of it.
Yep. It's brewing up very light considering how much leaf we're using.
The aroma is super sweet, and so I think it would actually surprise a newer tea drinker who would expect to smell something so aromatic and sweet and fruity, and
it's probably also sounds like a bit of a contradiction to describe Wuyi teas as bitter but also as sweet.
Right.
But that's totally what we're tasting right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And you can have bittersweet flavors. That is why dark chocolate is so appealing in some sense.
Yeah.
And so this is absolutely the case in this too.
And you kind of have bitter at the front end, and then it develops into more of a sweetness, fruity sweetness for me, which I think is very pleasant.
This is wonderful. This second steeping has evolved wonderfully. Much of a fuller experience. So I'm just tasting it now still, and it evolves. Sort of the form of it itself is kind of much rounder. So nice taste in the front. Kind of expands and then very slowly dies down. I'm even getting hints of like creamy, milky taste in my mouth now.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Definitely some of that creaminess coming on
really
tail
nice.
end of that.
Yeah.
And just lingering in my mouth, which is wonderful because I just had Lipton, and to forget the taste of Lipton is wonderful.
Oh, this is really great.
Yeah.
Very delightful. And so, James, you've gotten more and more into Wuyi teas. What's the reasoning behind that? Is there any? Just appeals to your
seasonally, I think it makes sense. We are still in March, although you'll see this episode in April. And, we've had a bunch of cold, rainy weather, so it's just something that I've been drinking a lot more, the roasted oolongs. In a lot of ways, I prefer Yancha or Wuyi oolongs over the Taiwanese roasted oolongs like Dongding. I don't know exactly why that is. Perhaps it's just personal taste, but I have found Wuyi oolongs to be quite wonderful in the past 3 or 4 months when I've really been drinking a ton of them.
Yeah, absolutely, really great. And again, I'm surprised by how full of body this is, and yet how light and refreshing it is.
Yep.
I think that combination is uncommon in a roasted tea like this, and really nice.
Yeah, there's definitely something about Wuyi oolongs, and I think it has to do with the terroir that it's grown at. That's just very unique and wonderful to the region. Like you can grow Shui Jin, which is really commonly processed as a Wuyi oolong in Taiwan, and have a Taiwan Wuyi, and it could be very good, but it will still not have the same characteristics just because of the terroir that a Wuyi oolong grown in Wuyi would.
I'm getting more of that rock taste too at
Yep.
the end of this third steeping here.
Yeah, the mineral aftertaste.
Yeah, much more of that sort of hinting at what you would associate probably as an audience member as something that kind of tastes salty, but it's like having really, really, really fresh water from a stream. If you've ever gone backpacking, for instance, and you clean your water out without iodine, it can have a very strong taste to it, and that sort of that mineral-y taste that you're getting from the tea. Really nice.
Yep.
Yeah.
And what you're describing would kind of be known, well, somewhat as Yanyan, or the rock taste, which is something very distinctive to Wuyi Oolong. It's not to say that they own the copyrights to all mineral tastes.
Yeah.
But it's very much associated with this type of tea.
Yeah, I get some of that taste, similar taste with the mineraliness taste with some of the aged teas that we've had on the show too. So, but this is wonderful. I'm getting a nice sense of energy and awakenedness.
Yep.
And yeah, this is fantastic. So, we already mentioned Jing Tea. You can pick this up there. Where else can people learn more about tea, James?
Yeah, so you can learn more about tea at TeaDB.org. We've been releasing a ton of content on Wuyi Oolongs from a number of different vendors, and we'll be brewing up one of my favorite Wuyi Oolongs that I've ever had next episode. So I look forward to that.
Yeah, stick with us. And for you folks who haven't subscribed yet to our YouTube channel, please do so.
Hit that subscribe button.
It's one of those places somewhere. He covered one of the bases that it will be at. And follow us on Twitter. Interact with us any way you want to. We love to get your feedback, and we take it seriously.
And let us know if you'd like for us to cover a specific tea or a specific type of teas or topics.
Yeah, absolutely. So come on the blog, TeaDB.org. Check us out on YouTube. And until then, we'll see you guys next time.
Yeah, thanks for watching, guys.
Cheers, guys.